You know that feeling, right? That 2 p.m. wall? It just hits you. Suddenly your focus is gone and your brain feels like it's trudging through mud. We always blame it on, a bad night's sleep or a big lunch, but what if the real culprit is the fuel you're giving your brain? Today, we're going to dive deep into the science of brain energy and answer a really big question. What is the absolute best fuel to power your mind and finally, beat that daily crash for good?
Okay, so here's the deal. The heart of the problem is your brain's main go-to fuel, glucose. Now, we need it, but relying on it alone is like being on an energy roller coaster. You get these spikes, you get these crashes, and every time that happens, your brain pays this metabolic tax that leaves you feeling totally drained and completely unfocused.
And to really get why this tax is so brutal, we first have to appreciate just how unbelievably hungry our brain is. I mean, it's an energy monster.
Get this. Your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but it devours a whopping 20% of your body's total energy. Think about that. Every single thought, every memory you pull up, every decision you make, it all requires a massive amount of power. And that power has a name, ATP. The easiest way to think about ATP is it's the energy cache for your cells, and it's made by thousands of tiny little power plants inside each brain cell called mitochondria. These little guys are working around the clock, fueling literally everything your brain does.
Which of course brings us right back to our original question. If our brain is packed with all these power plants, why does it feel like there's a citywide blackout every single afternoon? Well, the answer comes back to that metabolic tax.
So here's what's happening. When you're running only on glucose and your blood sugar suddenly takes a nosedive, your mitochondria, they're starved for resources. ATP production doesn't just slow down, it grinds to a halt. Your brain cells are literally running on empty, and the result is that all too familiar mental fog and that just crushing fatigue.
But what if there was a better way? A more stable, more reliable fuel source? Like a backup generator that kicks on the second the main power grid fails. Well, good news. Your body has one.
Say hello to ketones. When glucose isn't around, your liver can take fats and convert them into these fantastic little energy molecules. Now, what makes them so special is they have an all-access pass. They can cruise right across a protective blood-brain barrier, delivering a clean, steady stream of energy directly to your mitochondria.
And this is where fats like coconut oil come into the picture. As you can see, it's made up of a few different types of fatty acids. The ones we're interested in are the medium-chain triglycerides, or MCTs. But look closely at the numbers. Almost half of coconut oil is lauric acid, or C12, and another third is made of even longer-chain fats. And trust me, this specific mix is incredibly important.
Because, and this is the key, not all fats are processed the same way. Not even close. When you eat them, they basically enter a metabolic race to see which one can be turned into brain energy the fastest. So, those long-chain fats and that C12 lauric acid from the coconut oil, they take the slow, scenic route. They get absorbed into your lymphatic system, they take a long tour all around your body, and they are processed very slowly. This winding path means it takes forever to get energy, and worse, they can even end up just being stored as body fat. Not exactly the brain fuel we're looking for. But some fats get to skip all that traffic. They have a VIP pass. They get to take the metabolic express lane.
The C8 and C10 MCTs, the other part of coconut oil, are a whole different story. They completely bypass that slow digestive process and make a beeline straight for the liver. And there, boom, they are immediately converted into ketones, giving you a rapid, on-demand source of fuel right when your brain is screaming for it. And this comparison just lays it all out so clearly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the slow, indirect journey that might just end up as stored fat. And on the other, you have this fast, direct shot straight to the liver, giving you instant ketone energy. I mean, it's night and day.
And here's the proof. This chart shows exactly what happens in your blood after you take them. When you consume pure MCT oil, which is just that concentrated C8 and C10, look at that spike. You get a much faster and a much higher rise in brain-fueling ketones compared to standard coconut oil.
So, the verdict is in. While coconut oil is great and has its benefits, if your goal is that quick, reliable surge of brain energy to beat the afternoon slump, concentrated MCT oil is the undisputed champion. There's really no contest.
Okay, so this is all great information, but how do we actually put it into action? Well, it's surprisingly easy. Let's walk through a super simple protocol you can use to basically reset your brain's fuel supply.
All right, here's the protocol. It's just 1 tablespoon of MCT oil. Simple. But here's a pro tip from the source material to really take it to the next level. Pair it with your fat-soluble nootropics. See, a lot of brain-boosting compounds need fat to be absorbed, so the oil acts as the perfect delivery vehicle, making sure they get soaked up and put to work by your body.
Yeah, a lot of these heavy hitters, aniracetam, Pacopa, CoQ10, they're fat-soluble. That means without fat, your body just can't absorb them properly. They kind of pass right through. So taking them with MCT oil, that ensures they actually get delivered to your brain where they can do their job. It's a total win-win. And I just love this quote because it perfectly captures the feeling. It's not some subtle little boost, it is rocket fuel for my brain. That's what we're talking about here. It's about giving your mind the high-octane premium fuel it actually deserves.
So I'll leave you with this thought. After seeing exactly how your brain's energy system works and knowing that there's a much more efficient fuel just waiting for you, that afternoon crash starts to look less like some unavoidable symptom and a lot more like a choice. The power to fuel your brain the right way, it's in your hands now.